It's always a delight to have you on the program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. Every week we are here to bring you the very best of topical analysis of issues. And of course, as it happens in Nigeria, so we dissect on the program on a Thursday. And it's always a delight to know that you're spending 60 minutes of your time with us on the program. My name is Egosa Agbonlao. Nice to have you. Also have with us a very, very distinguished and of course a highly respected clergyman, and a man that also represents the youths, what the youths are capable of doing in this country. Dr. Elvis Agbonlao, nice to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Yours, God bless you.
So we'll be looking at youths and national development. Don't forget that as we approach the 2023 general election, tongues are wagging, people are talking, Nigerians are talking, and there is a section of the public that believes that, before the 2023 election, we should see activities geared around, activities projecting the youths, activities highlighting that the youths are ready to take over. Now, the youths cannot take over in a democratic setting if they do not stand for elective positions, if they do not participate in politics, if they do not belong to a political party, if they do not have their PVC, they cannot automatically become a public office holder. But it's time. Now, you may ask me the meaning of that. It's time. Because so many Nigerians believe that, the youths should take part in governance. Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari also believes that the youths should also take advantage of opportunities and contribute to the development of the country. So the youths are also regarded as the cornerstone of development. It is believed that if the youths are well equipped, if the youths are well tutored, if the youths are developed, then it will reflect in the development of any nation. So Nigeria is not an exception. And Dr. Apostle Elvis Agbonlao, who is a leader of congregation, a leader of men, will be telling us what the youths can do to actually develop the country. So let's take his opening remarks. Doctor, now the youths, it is believed that it's time for the youths. But do you think the youths are ready?
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Mr. Awosa.
Yes.
You know, I just mind. The truth is that the youth are ready. But the elders are not willing, are not ready for the youth to take over. How, let me say it from this angle. If you look at the political terrain,
Yes.
what is happening today,
Yes.
like you said that our president said the youth can take over, and meanwhile a popular aspirant is saying that the youth should wait after his tenure, as if the Nigeria as a government is his private property. Now, if you look at what is going on in Nigeria, there is a political strategies to frustrate the youth. How do I mean?
Yes.
I have to say that this is just the gospel truth.
Okay.
With the way things are going, it will be difficult for the youth, for any youth to rule Nigeria as a president for now.
How do you mean again? I think the youths have the energy, the youths are strong.
The fathers,
Yes.
the elders, they are in all these political parties.
Yes.
For example, the two major political parties we have today,
Okay.
there is a strategy, an evil strategy that will be put in place to frustrate the youth ambition. How do I mean? For example, the two political parties now, because if any youth decide to go and come out, to go and vie for the office of the president outside these two major political parties, you go nowhere. You know why? We have about 774 local governments. And these two political parties, they are on ground in all these local government in Nigeria. In all these states.
Structures now.
Structure.
Okay.
Except other political parties, sir, with due respect, except other political parties decide to merge. Aside that, it is going to be these two major political parties that will produce who will become the president. And now, because I said that there's
a permitted to mention them.
Yes.
You are permitted
PDP
to mention
and APC. You know,
these are the two major.
These are the two major political
parties. The ruling
parties.
party is the APC. The major opposition party.
Anyone that must rule Nigeria as we speak now,
yes,
as pertaining the president, the office of the president, must come from either PDP or APC.
But don't you think an upset can happen? Somebody can
except, sir, with due respect,
yes,
you know, this is politics. Except a situation where other political parties decide to merge. You know why? Now, this is an office that has to cover the country, yes, the 774 local governments, not to talk of the thousands of wards. Now, if you belong to a political party that doesn't have an offices in all these states, in all these wards, in all these local governments, and you want to contest, or you decide to go and buy a form from that political party, you go nowhere. Now, for you to know that these politicians know what they are doing, these old men that are not ready to leave the system, they know what they are doing. They put a system in place. For example, now a political party like APC now, they are selling their presidential form, you know, interest and whatever form for 100 million. Now, tell me a youth who can afford that. Even though the youth can afford it, EFCC will wage into it. For example, somebody like me now, I decide to, I'm not a politician, yes, but someone like me, someone at my own level of age, decide to go and buy a presidential form at the rate of 100 million. Be ready for EFCC. It's true.
Now, to account for how you got the money.
Because even though you are favored, you know, they will witch hunt you. It's true. Now, these elders, they know what they are doing. These old men in the government, they know what they are doing. Now, I was so ashamed just a few days back. I was watching in one of your sister stations, listening to a former governor who is a current senator now, Rochelle Okorocha, and he said the reason why his political party decided to give, you know, to make the money expensive to be 100 million, one, they are owing money, Felix, you know, silly excuses for the serious people to come. That is to tell you, is the highest bidder. Now, because now, if, for example, now a young man can come out to pay 100 million for the form in that political party, then before you now talk of printing posters and all that, it involves millions. If you are able, even though you have the mind and you are able to cover that money, be ready for EFCC. They will ask you. They will use, you know, the whole system. You know, that's why the youth, we must be ready to come out. Now, we must have our own PVC. That's number one. Number two, we must know what is on ground, because if you don't know what is on ground, you can be taken unaware. Because it's a tactics, it's a satanic political tactics that they are using. Because as a youth, if you now, how many youth can afford to buy that form, either for APC? Okay, even PDP own. I think I'm hearing 40 million.
Yes, you are correct.
40 million. Now, APC is selling their presidential form at the rate of 100 million. Now, sir, it's already a strategy to say, youth, you can't afford it. Now, if the
I
youth...
understand that there's a strategy, the APC for the youths. They made provision for the youths and women. Women free of charge.
Sir.
The youths have the
prize.
Sir,
all those are story. Those are fallacy. You know, with due respect, it is a strategy to frustrate the ambition of the youth of becoming president. Because they know, you know, these people have been in the system for years. They are not ready to retire. But I so much believe very soon the youth will retire them. Now, because they know that if you decide to go and join just a political party, there are so many political parties we have, you know, in Nigeria now that doesn't even have office in 3 states. Now, if you now go and buy a phone from those political parties, do you know what it takes? It will take for you to be doing, you know, to create offices of those parties in each of the states, in each of the local government, in each of the ward. It takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, and the time is not there. Because they don't want the youth, a vibrant youth to come out to aspire in this era, and that's why they come from the angle of money. They come from different tactics, they know, just to frustrate the youth out. You get it now. That's why I tell people, in this election coming, it will be difficult. Yes, we can plan ahead. It is true. What we should be doing now is to plan ahead. What we should do now is to look at, among the old men that are coming out, which one have the vision to represent the youth. You know, but for any youth now, I think you know, it is true. I'm just saying the gospel truth. It will be difficult now for any youth with the economic crisis in Nigeria, for any youth now to cough out 100 million to go and buy APC form. Are you getting me, sir?
Yeah.
That is my opinion.
Okay. Dr. Apostle Elvis, you can see that he's so emotional, really, about the issue, because he believes that, yes, it's time for the youths, but there are hurdles to be crossed, hurdles to be surmounted, challenges to be surmounted by the youths, for the youths to actually actualize their ambition. But I think the most important thing, there's always a way for a willing mind. The youths must first of all indicate their willingness to rule, their willingness to occupy elective positions. But he has just made some very, very valid points. He's talked about some allegations. He has actually brought up or highlighted some allegations against the so-called leaders, the elders in the different political parties, that the nomination forms are expensive. Even if the youths are asked to pay half the cost of nomination expression and a nomination of interest forms in APC, for example, 100 million, half the price, 50 million, that is still going to be an uphill tax for the youths. And he also highlighted the fact that if the youths pick the forms, then they should be ready to face the anti-graft agencies who will ask sources of income. How a man of 40, 42, less than 50 is able to raise 100 million or raise 50 million or thereabout, as the case may be. And for the women, it is free of charge. But yes, he also said that if the youths do not get the opportunities in the two major political parties, the ruling party in Nigeria is the APC. The major opposition party in the country is the PDP. That if the youths are not given the opportunities within these two major parties, it will be very difficult for the youth to achieve their ambition, political ambition, with other parties. Not that the other parties are really lesser parties, but some of these parties do not have structures in the 36 states and the FCT in the country, or all the wards in all the states of the country. So these are very valid points that Dr. Elvis has highlighted, because he represents the youths, and he believes that the youths can actually rule. But are they given the opportunity? And that's another question I'm going to pose to you now. Dr. Elvis, now, the elders that you have referred to, the so-called leaders ruling this country, they depend on the youths to achieve their ambition. During campaigns, the youths campaign for them. The youths, in short, even when you talk about political toggery, political talks, the youths, most of them are actually culpable in that area. So if the youths can actually help to facilitate or to help the so-called leaders to achieve their ambition, why can't the youth come together as a formidable force and support one of their own?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
The truth of the matter is this: politics involve money.
Okay.
And the youth do not really have the money. The money is in the hand of the elders. That is a secret. But by and large, that's why people like us are speaking. For example, no politician has been able to use me. And no politician will use me.
Okay.
Because I know my left from my right. And that's why people like us are speaking to the youth every day to say, all these chair, babake have to stop.
Okay.
Because what these elders does is to amass wealth.
Yes.
They put the youth in a state of depression so that you always come to suck milk from them. That's what they are doing. Sometimes you see some politicians now, now election is coming closer now, they are not sharing different things to their constituency. Meanwhile, this was a man, for example, for a very long time, he never held a town hall meeting, for example. You get it now? Because he knows that the time has come. Now he's not sharing. Okay. And many of them will be disappointed. Now, that's what they do to the youth. That's why people like us now, so many of us, we are many in numbers, who are now trying to change the mentality of our colleagues. To say, no, you know, all this going to this man's house to collect this, you will remain a slave. Let it teach you how to fish, not always go to collect fish.
Yeah.
That's mindset of slavery. And is working. Gradually is working. It is not that the youth, we are not supporting ourselves. But I just told you, expose some certain hidden secret to you just now.
Okay.
That these leaders, these old men who are supposed to have retired, sir, the problem of Nigeria, we are in problem, we have problem, serious one. The problem of Nigeria, if someone of, someone at the age of less than 50
okay,
rule as a president, you will feel it. Talk less of old man, grandfather, who is supposed to be resting, want to still go there. I don't know what they are looking for. I know it is desperation. They don't have the interest of the people at heart. And we thank God the youth, a lot of the youth are waking up now. Presently, they are waking up. That's why I discovered that the way a lot of politicians used to, popularize or, influence the youth negatively, it is dropping now. If you watch the last election that happened in those states,
okay,
it was a clear example. Some people felt they can just use money, but the will of the people prevail.
So money did not really determine.
Yeah, money was spent.
How Governor Obaseki made.
Yes, decision of this is how we want it.
Popular vote
came on board.
Yeah.
And that is what is going to play out in this coming election. Sir, I went to where they are doing registration now. I saw a lot of youth. Go and see
the way PVC.
People are because they are tired. They go to market every day. They see what is happening. A lot of universities are producing graduates that are unemployable. Are you get us now?
It's terrible.
Now, people are finding it difficult to fill just 1 square meal a day. Not even 3 now. 1. You get it now? Even what people are ending now, their take home cannot take them home. It's true.
It's a terrible situation.
Now, the youth, as I speak to you now, we are trying to organize ourselves.
Okay.
We are talking, and by God's grace, I know we will get there. But I know, like I say,
yes,
this 2023 election, I think, is my personal opinion.
Yes.
It can never be given to any youth. It can never.
That's for now.
For now. Okay. All we need to do now is to put ourselves together,
yes,
our heads together,
and
strategize, and begin to work out. Okay. In short, all these too many parties here and there, they should merge themselves. Let there be, let them strategize, yes, to make sure that there are offices of their party in all the states, the local government, the wards. Just like the way these two major political parties, the APC and PDP, have done.
Yes.
Sir, with due respect, PDP and APC, they will not give a presidential ticket to any youth now. If we are waiting for them to give us, they will not give us. Because the old men, they are not ready to leave the stage. We are the one that will remove them from the stage. Okay. And in doing that, it is not in crisis. It is not in violence. It must be done with intelligence. And it begins from organizing ourselves. Okay. Begin from trying to, influence our people. Not this one that many youth are now going on social media behaving. No. This one is we need to talk to ourselves.
Yeah, it should be constructive.
Very, very. We should talk to ourselves. We should change, because there are many youth who do not even know what is happening. Because those politicians know that this one does not know what is happening. You know, somebody like me now, you know, no politician can come to me now and begin to, because he knows. I know myself. You know what I'm saying now?
Yes.
I know myself. And therefore, a lot of youth, we need to open their eyes.
Okay.
And by God's grace, we are doing it. And a lot of our colleagues, they are doing it. So many youth eyes have been opened. And now, if you watch this election now, outside the presidential election, you will discover that a lot of youth are vying for many positions now.
Okay, at state level, as far as
state level, even those days, some time ago, even 60-something years old man want to go for councillor. But now, the terrain is changing.
I think I agree with you. Those states particularly,
you know, we shouldn't start from presidents.
Yeah, so many young people are going for councillors, local government chairmen.
We shouldn't. We must encourage them. Yeah. That is a good thing. We shouldn't start from president. Listen, if you are wanting to start from president, I know of a youth, you know, who want to start from president. I look at him that he's joking. You have not become a local government chairman. You have not been a councillor. You have not. Listen, experience matters.
Oh, I was going to come to that.
You know, you have not been a local government chairman. Just even myself talking to you, before I became a senior pastor, I have served a lot of men of God. Even before God called me, saved me, He made sure I have to serve. Because that experience is very important. You get it now? Yeah. And that's why when you see what I can do with my age, with my, you know, with my size, this man of God, this young man of God, look at what he's doing. Listen, I didn't just start today. Experience is there. Yeah. I have served and I'm still serving. Now, you know, you want to be a president. You don't need to start to be a president. You can start from local government chairman, from House of Assembly. Yeah. You can start from councillorship position. You know, you get experience. You know the terrain. That's what we are telling the youth now. We need to start from those, from the bottom. You get it now? Yeah. Not from top. Because, you know, by the time the youth, we are involved in, you know, for example, as a youth, we have them as councillor, we have them as chairman, we have them as assembly member. We become a voice.
Yes.
And we are able to unite ourselves, we are able to organize ourselves. You know, from there we'll be building up. Not just you want to start from president. They will not give you. You have to start. When they discover that as a youth, that the youth are now involved. Councillor, you are seeing the youth there. Local government chairman, you are seeing youth there. When you are seeing people of young minds in different offices, from there, for the youth to take over as a president, it will be simple. You get it now?
Yeah.
Until we venture into the political terrain as a player.
Yes.
As a player.
Yes.
You can't get to that top.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. You remember the likes of Barrister Omosede Igbenedion was a member of the Federal House of Representatives, and when she was there, she was the youngest member of the Federal House of Representatives. So if we say we saw what she did. We say the youths can perform. You can begin to think of the likes of Barrister Omosede Igbenedion, who was in the National Assembly. She made record as the youngest member of the House of Representatives. So the youths are starting. I think that's what my guest is saying, that you must start from somewhere. In Edo State now, the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly is a very young man, and he's the Speaker. And he's on record that he's the youngest to emerge Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly. So I think the youths are gradually making inroads. They are gradually achieving remarkable feats in the political scene, in the political terrain. And that's what Dr. Elvis has said, that the youth should not just say, you want to be president. You can start from somewhere. But apart from Edo State, where we've seen that the youths are actually occupying elective positions, if you go to other states, Kogi State, for example, Yahaya Bello is a young man. He's over 40 and is the governor of Kogi State by Providence, and now he's aspiring to be president. We understand that he has collected the form of APC, 100 million. He's not the only one. There are other people that have collected the form. But let me just read this to you. This is actually credited to the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman Governing Council of the Federal University of Lokoja in Kogi State, Senator Chris Adigije. He actually addressed a press conference, and he's saying that Yes, that it was actually justifying the very huge cost of collecting nomination forms, expression of interest forms. That for you to collect the form, the money should not just come from you. It should come from your support base. That's the point he was canvassing. And he said on the cost of the forms, saying that no aspirant was expected to raise such an amount of money personally, but from those supporting them. In the press conference in Abuja, he said that the sale of expression of interest and nomination forms fixed for 100 million naira by the APC will help to measure and assess presidential aspirant support base. Well, he may have his reasons, but he is saying that support base. And Doctor, don't you think, apart from the point you've just made, which I concur, that the youth must start from, other positions, not just from the presidency. Now, anybody that ventures into politics is not supposed to have supporters, and these supporters are supposed to support in terms of funds.
In Western world,
yes,
that is how it's done.
Okay.
But let me quickly say this. Talking about support, it's still boiled down to the strategy that is on ground. Sir, people are ready to support you. But when they discover, they study what is going on, they don't want to waste their money. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
They discover that the politics that is being played is a partial politics. That, for example, now you see a lot of persons, even the one that could not settle the striking lecturers, still went and bought form. Are you getting what I'm saying now? All the ministers,
yes,
those who have not been able to pilot their ministry very well, they even when they are collapsed the system, they are still buying form. Because they have the money. Now, normally, they will still come and tell you that it was my supporter. And it's not true. It's their money. But in a proper working system, it is the people, your supporters, that are supposed to raise the money to buy you the form. But why is not happening much now? It's because the old mayors are jacking the system. Now, a lot of people that would have supported Mr. S would not like, if we decide to gather money now and support him, the body language from this angle is like we are going to waste our money. Are you get what I'm saying now?
I'm following.
That is the point. That's why those that would have been supporting a lot of persons are not pulling back, because they don't want to waste their money. Are you getting me, sir?
Yes.
But in a fair system, people are ready to support. That's why there are still some people now that their supporters are still buying from for. But most of all these people that you are seeing on TV that, oh, my supporter bought it, majority is a lie. It's the stolen money. Now, talking about...
That's an allegation that you cannot substantiate.
Yes.
We will not accept that on this program.
It's my personal opinion.
Yes. We cannot accept that because we
it's
don't
my
have
personal
evidence
opinion.
That there are stolen monies.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, talking of, you mentioned of Governor Yaya Bello.
Yes.
I was watching the other day on national TV, one of your sister stations.
Okay.
And they asked him, what have you done? He said he should go and check the site. To me, it's a joke. You want to contest for the office of a president, and they ask you. One thing we must understand, sir, leadership is not all about position. Leadership is all about character, our relevancy. A lot of people are just interested in the position. No, leadership is all about character, our character, not the office. You get it done? Now they are asking you as a youth, and they are asking you to say, okay, you want to run for the office of the president, and what have you done as a governor of your state? Because I followed, I discovered that, my personal opinion, he has done nothing much. To me, he contesting for the office of a president He's not representing the youth. That is my personal opinion. It's laughable. To me, he's only going there to fool us. My personal opinion. Because they ask him, if I have done well, if you ask me as a senior pastor, as a CEO of a company, what have you been able to achieve? I should be able to point out, oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. He said, he was quoting sites. You couldn't measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. You were able to raise money to go and pay 100 million naira for the fund. Meanwhile, there are workers in your state that have not been paid, that are hungry, that are dying out of starvation. To me, he's representing himself, not the youth.
Yaya Bello is 46 years old. I think he's a young man, but Dr. Elvis is not his supporter at all on this program.
I am not.
Though he's 46 years of age, Yaya Bello, governor of Kogi State, is one of the prominent youths now that is able to vie for the office of the president. Though my guest has said, start from other positions, councillorship positions, the local government chairman, commissioners, you know, just vie for other positions, and gradually you can move up the ladder. That's the point my guest has canvassed on the show. We'll take a break now, and after this break, we'll be able to look at other areas where the youth becomes relevant to national development. Okay, so it's a delight to have you back on the program after that brief break. And I know that you are enjoying your 60 minutes with us on 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Ego Sagbonlao. Still with me in the studio is a man that leads other people, that leads other men and women and youths, a leader of congregation, Dr. Apostle Elvis Agbonaima. You've been talking on the youths, and you seem to be very, very assertive on the fact that the youths should start from the lower level and gradually garner their support and move up the ladder. I think that's a very good idea, and I hope that youths who are watching this program will gain from that, that don't be discouraged. You may not be president tomorrow, but you can be a councillor today. You can be a PA. You know, you can just start from somewhere and, you know, gain experience. And talking about experience, Dr. Elvis, now, don't you think that most of these elders refuse to quit because they've garnered experience, and they feel that, oh, the experience they've garnered it's time to use. Peter Obi was former governor of Anambra State. He's interested in presidency. Tambuwa, governor of Sokoto State, is interested in presidency. You know, some of these former governors, they're interested in presidency. Former President Goodluck Jonathan, some persons are even canvassing that he should return and be our president. Don't you think we really need the experience of these older people? Instead of those around 40, early 40, they may not have garnered enough experience. What do you think about
sir, thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
You know, let me start with this. By the grace of God, I am 17 years as an ordained servant of God. But though my age does not look so,
Yes.
I look more younger every day.
Yes.
I'm above 40.
Oh, that's good.
Now, but if you look at me, you might look at me that I'm just 22. Like I told you,
Yes.
a lot of things that is happening to me now, experience is there. I have gallant, I'm a deliverer minister.
Okay.
During those process I serve, I gallant a lot of experience. I learned from too many people, and I'm still learning today.
Yes.
That's why I said, you see, you said Peter Obi, the former governor, he was a former governor. Now, the reason why most of these politicians, these fathers, are always ahead of us, because they have experience. That is the notion I said out when I started talking.
Yes.
That this idea of, because you have small money, you have influence on social media. Listen, influence on social media is not real, it's fake. You can be popular on social media, on ground nobody knows you. You might not be on ground because you have 10 million followers on social media. Social media followers cannot transform into electoral, into a vote.
In a polling unit or
you
polling
can
unit.
have 2 million followers,
yes,
and you will contest as a local government chairman. You will not even have 5 votes because you are not on ground.
Okay.
Now that is where the experience comes in.
Yes.
You see, these fathers, why they are still occupying, they discover that we just want to pick from top. Imagine somebody now, a young man like me, the next thing I want to just, because I have little money, for example, I have little influence, I'm popular on Facebook, for example, like I tell people, ministry of Facebook and ministry of normal church is different. If God call you, for example, leave Facebook, go and rent a place, start church, you will, if God not call you. I do get what I'm saying. Now what am I trying to say? These fathers, many of them have experience. That's why they know how to handle this youth. Now, we can also gallant our experience by starting from afresh. It is not the position. I said it before. Leadership is not just all about the office. It's all about our character, making ourselves useful, relevant. You get it now? Now, we can start by, maybe councillorship, local government chairman position, as for assembly. From there, you be proceeding. Not that you just come out, just like some people, they just come out, they don't know you before. Politically, you are not on ground. The next you want to contest as a governor of the state. It's laughable. They will eat your money, you will waste your money, waste your time, you will get nothing. Because it has to be progressive. Listen, no matter speed, I'm a product of grace, but there's a process. We must not dispute the aspect of process.
Yes.
Now, process brings about experience. You get it now?
Yeah.
That's why when you just come out and you just post, I want to become president, all those elders, they'll be laughing at you. They say, who is this one? And you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they know that you are not on ground, experience is not there. That is the reason why I'm happy, I'm so much happy now, seeing a lot of youth already involved, being a player now.
Yeah.
That is my joy. That is a good start. It will take, after some time, there's a level that, by the time we now have a youth who has run as a governor, you just talk about the speaker just now. He's a young man too. Now, if the speaker tomorrow want to become governor, because he already have experience, he know how to, how to deal with the political terrain. He was there. He has been part of it. He knows how to talk to the leader. He already understands how to handle party's issues.
Yeah.
Because you cannot just come out to say you want to contest for the office of the president. You don't know how to handle, political parties' issues. It's very important. Because you can, as we speak now, there is nothing like independent candidate in Nigeria. You must belong to a political party. It is a party that will bring you out. You must learn how to deal with them. The way you relate with your small-scale business you have is different from the way you are going to relate to members of a political party. You get it now? That is the thing. I'm still standing on the perspective that we must start from somewhere.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be just the president for a start. We can start from other positions. We can begin to make ourselves relevant. The youth, thank God it's already happening.
Yeah.
We can get involved more. Even though somebody like me, that I'm not a politician, but I encourage the youth around me.
Yeah.
It's my duty to counsel them, to encourage them. Yes, if you are waiting for them, for these old men, old fathers, to give you to leave the state, they will not leave the state. It is our relevancy that will unseat them. Until we become so relevant, they can't leave that office until we make ourselves relevant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Elvis has really elaborated on this issue. Though, looking at youth, United Nations definition of youth makes it very clear that there's no universally agreed age for for a youth, but they still grouped it between 15 and 24. That is the group between childhood and adulthood is really youth. But they actually made it clear that yes, in some regions, youth's definition of youths can differ. So that's the reason why somebody of over 40 is he regarded as a youth in Nigeria.
They were 50.
Okay, so Dr. Emi is saying that even 50, they still look at 50 as a youth. You know, we've heard of reports where some persons who are really old, in some political parties, they were youth chairmen. And you're talking about somebody about 60, you know, we occupy a position of youth chairman.
Even different communities.
Even in different communities, when you see youth chairman, some of them are...
Grandfather.
Okay. But let's look at some persons. For instance, the governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Waziri Tambuwa, born January 10, 1966. And yes, I think the issue of maybe you look at the health status. Anybody that is interested in political position, look at the health status. Is he fit? Look at the fitness level. So you can be 50 and very fit. You can be 40 and you may not be fit. You can be 55 and you are still fit. You know, I think that counts a lot. The health status matters a lot. The chairman of NDLEA has just said now that he should be given permission that presidential aspirants should be tested for drugs. Do you agree with that?
Very, very well.
Okay.
Because most of our politicians are involved. You get it now? They live on drugs. And
so when you see some presidential aspirants jumping up and down, so it could be the effect of drugs.
Under alcohol. Mixture. It's true. Yeah. That's why sometimes they talk for hours, telling no lies. If you not ask them after 1 hour, they can't repeat what they have said. You get it now? Now, I think I agreed. If that will be done, it will bring joy to many of us. Because I believe if they decide to run a test, drug test on all the politicians that are contesting, it will disqualify majority of them. It will. Because many of them, it is drugs that sustain them. And although their vibrancy is under the influence of drugs. And they have even taught our younger ones. You watch now. That's why I'm happy the way that agency is so very active now. Because most of our younger ones, the youth on the streets, is God that will help us. They are living on drugs. They are taking what will destroy them quickly. You know, it's going to be painful, the kind of disaster. It's not a prophetic doom, but it's reality. It's going to be painful in few years now, the kind of disaster we are going to be seeing, because most of our youth, they have taken too many things that will destroy them. Okay. All the mystery. Some of them can host some kind of soft drink on the street. They are walking. You think they are drinking soft drink. It has already been diluted. It's a kind of destroying thing.
You think it's
soft drink.
Soft drink, well, it's not soft drink. It's something that is inside.
Don't tell them to give it to drink. Yes. Otherwise, you might not sleep and wake up for 3 days. It happened to one of my boys. Yes. He just saw one of his friends holding a soft drink, a popular soft drink. He said, let me join you to drink. The guy said, no, you can't drink. He said, no, let me drink. You don't want to give me because it was very chill. It was hot sun. And according to the guy, he drank. He didn't know where he was anymore.
I understand that there are stuff they call monkey tail. Please, youths, do not indulge in
many of them like destroyed their cutting their life short.
It's very wrong. Okay, I just quickly have to mention this because we are still talking about youths. And I said, yes, according to the United Nations, there's no universally agreed age for youth. It varies from region to region. For instance, in Edo State, the deputy governor of Edo State is 52, Comrade Philip Shaibu. And you can regard, he sees himself as a youth, and you can really say, this is a youth. And we can see his performance. We can see what he's doing. We can see the way he plays football. And I think those who are aspiring to lead this country, should really be youths. They should be fit. They should have, medically, the health status should be 95%. On that note, I want to thank Dr. Elvis Agbonaima. Wonderful, wonderful comments. But your closing remarks before we call it a day on the show.
I want to advise my youth that this time we should organize ourselves properly.
Okay.
At this time, we should be at alert, be vigilant, so that we will not be fooled twice. This is not the time to collect money, but this is the time to take a right decision for our future. And I also want to advise the youth that this time we should plan ahead. We might not be the president of Nigeria in 2023, but we can be president of Nigeria in years to come. But we can start planning it now. We can start from the grassroots. And God bless you all.
Okay, that's 60 Minutes Nigeria. I hope you enjoyed this week's edition. Dr. Apostle Elvis Agbonaima has been my guest, and we've been able to talk about youths and national development. We've seen that the youths are very important to the development of any nation. Nigeria is not an exception. So the youths, I hope you've learned. And the elders too, they have been accused of not letting go, of not giving the opportunities to the youths to take over. Please allow the youths to take over. And we've just given examples of youths now. It doesn't mean they must be 20-something or, you can be over 40, you can be 40, you can be 52, and, you're strong, you are healthy, you're sound mind. That's the show. Do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.